Okay, today we're going to present how we can extract our data and pull it from SQL Server to Excel. A lot of times you don't have enough information or you don't have enough reports in your system and you require to add or extract more information. If you have enough knowledge or some knowledge about the objects, the tables that you have in the database, the views, then you can definitely pull this data into Excel. So in order to demo this, I'm going to use a view that is called customer sales, which represents all the sales for the customers by products and the extended price. Very simple query. So in order for you to do that, I'm going to open my Excel, just create a blank sheet, and I'm going to go to my data tab, then get data from database, and I'm going to select my SQL Server database. You have to make sure that your user is allowed or have the permission to connect to the database, so you might need to talk to your database administrator. I need over here my SQL Server name and my database name, so I'm going to get that. Probably you are going to get that from your administrator as well. So I'm going to put my server name and I'm going to put my database name. And I'll just hit OK. Once you're connected, SQL is going to present for you all the views that you can have access to and all the tables. So even if you don't have enough information about your objects, still you can scroll through it. The majority of the databases would have names that are mostly understandable, so you might be able to guess and figure out what you're looking for. So in this case, I'm looking for my view for the customer sales view. And then once I select it, it presents some of its data over here. And from this bottom button at the end of the screen, I'm going to select Load to option. It gives me several options to present the data as a table or pivot table. I'm going to use pivot table because it gives me more flexibility of how I can present my data and filtering, and I can as well add some columns and so on. We're not going to cover a lot of pivot table options. The goal of this session is to how to pull data from SQL Server. Then I can either pull it to a new sheet or the current existing sheet, and I can say where does it start, which column. So it creates for you the blank sheet. Now let's start to present our data or to add our columns. So the goal is to select the column and drag it down at the rows section. So let's drag the customer name. Let's select the invoice date. Usually Excel tries to grab the date and dissect it by year, month, date, but let's say that we want to see the actual invoice date. So I'll just right click on any of the date fields and then say ungroup. And I'm interested as well to display the description, so I'm going to pull it to my rows again. And my extended price, which is the total price of the product. Maybe as well you're interested in the quantity, so I'm going to pull the quantity down over here. And now we got all our data. But now this design does not really serve what we're looking for because we want it to look more in a tabular format. So even Excel allows you through the design menu option to change the layout of your report. So I'm going to hit on the design and then go to the report layout and say show it in tabular form. So it changed the the option to tabular form. I can even, some users like to see all the data instead of having it as grouped like this. So if you want to do that, what you can do is you can right click on the field that you want the data to repeat on, say field settings, layout, and then repeat item labels. As you can see over here, Excel as well predicted that you want to show totals. So you can either say do not show subtotals, or you can add as well, add grand totals off for rows and columns and so on. So a lot of flexibility with pivot. Whatever you do over here is not going to mess up your data because you're only presenting it. So it's all for analysis. So nothing really affects your database. So don't be scared to play with it. So that's a way to present the report. So in order to show you how flexible it is, let's say that this is not what you're looking for. We're looking for a report that displays the sales by city. So I'm going to remove back my column. So I'm going to drag it to its original section. So you can just drag, drop, drag it, drop it. And I'm going to get my city. And my manager wants to see the city by total price. So I'm going to select the extended price and I'm going to put it on the values. So this shows for you the sales by city. So as I said, it gives you a lot of flexibility, provides you with a lot of analytical data. So it's very helpful for a lot of users and definitely much easier than waiting for a report to be developed. Let me know if you have any question, and thanks a lot for